Alright guys, so welcome to today's video. Apologies in the last video, I know I kind of teased you guys with a new exhaust for the Supra and didn't do anything on it. And that's because currently the Supra has no turbo on it, and I want to make sure we do everything from the turbo back rather than putting an exhaust and having to change stuff around once we get a new turbo on the car. So I did say part of the goal is to simplify the Supra, bring it back to stock for stock-like operations and reliability. The turbo kit that I had was reliable, but because of the fact that it deleted the stock electric wastegate, I just think it was just mad whenever you would shift manually, and it works great on automatic, but shifting just was kind of weird. And I knew that there was a good option that we could go with rather than going back to a stock turbo. So you'll notice both of these turbos look almost identical, but this is basically the same one that we put on the red cars before. It's from Pure Turbos, and basically what they do is machine it out and put a bigger wheel in. You can see that this wheel is quite a bit bigger than the stock wheel right here. They kind of take out this metal, grind it out, get it machined, and then put in a bigger billet wheel. But the difference is the turbo that I put in the red car was a Pure 700. This is a Pure 800. So if my predictions are correct, we should make about the same power that we made with the last turbo, but it should be a lot more stock-like reliability, and it gave me an excuse to steal the turbo from the Supra for the other one. So here's a little bit more of a close-up on the compressor wheel. Nice and pretty versus stock and small. And then, if you guys look, they also machine out the exhaust wheel quite a bit. Look how tiny that is compared to this. So the stock turbos tend to make, you know, about 500 horsepower max and then fall off drastically to redline, where these ones I've seen as much as high 600s at redline. So this should be perfect for a nice, reliable, low power daily. So today we are going to pop that on. It's real simple, just a couple bolts since the manifold's integrated into the turbo. Do the new exhaust, and then I'm gonna do a couple little aero bits, and we'll start to get this thing into more of an ideal street spec. Alberto, what do you think about these tiny little turbos that I'm having you work with?
It feels weird, but I'm surprised it makes so much power. It's actually pretty cool.
When Alberto's thumb is bigger than the exhaust ports in the manifold. How crazy is it to think that those two little holes will support almost 700 horsepower? I'm not exaggerating, those things are tiny. In case you're wondering, a banana will not fit in my two exhaust runners. I think it is cool though, a lot of people are skeptical when the Supra came out about that design feature and that it didn't have a 6-port head, but the fact that people have made upwards of 800 horsepower with them just goes to show that it really isn't necessary to have 6-port, although the new Supras do have 6-port.
Yeah. How you like, what's it called? The
boost leak test? Yeah, other side, Alberto. You don't do it from and back. And it's done. One thing that I've had that I've been waiting on during my drag escapades was a bunch of carbon fiber aero bits for the Supra. But I just felt no need to do it when I wasn't even really driving the car, so I'll show you what I got in here. So I actually have the full lip kit with sides, front, and rear. I don't know if I'm going to do the sides and front yet, but this is the rear Fly 1 carbon diffuser for the Supra. That should hopefully make this thing look a little bit cooler. My current diffuser is also all melted up, so I wanted to wait until I had another exhaust option before I go and put something else on and burn up the new carbon diffuser. The fitment on this just kind of like burned up my diffuser. So a couple screws and trim clips holding it in, but I'm just slowly prying out. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Fitment's pretty decent, not that much of a pain to install. See how it looks with those new exhaust tips. Alright, the only other real big change, if you even want to call it a big change, is because we are changing back to a stock location, we needed a stock style hard charge pipe kit. So this is the one from Jordan over at RK Tunes, and you'll notice it has a meth bung already built into it, as well as a nitrous bung. Well, I guess you could use either or for whatever you want, but I'm going to continue using the meth setup that I already have, so we're going to leave that one plugged, and then we're going to tap nitrous into the existing hole up here, and then this will replace the factory plastic crap. to make sure that we don't have any sort of cracks. So now we're just kind of figuring out what we're going to do in terms of exhaust setup. I want to try to retain the front 4-inch section that we have, since this one comes with a smaller front section. So we're going to figure out if there's a way that we can do it and get the best flow possible. All right, I can't do this one-handed. So just to be fully transparent, this is the section that we didn't use. Reason being, this is 3.5 inch, and the downpipe that I have actually has a 4-inch outlet. So I thought it would be smarter, instead of cutting up that brand new nice exhaust, I would utilize this 4-inch oval section that tucks up real nice and high in there. And then Alberto was able to just modify this section to the point where that rear section would just slip right on. So we could have the beautiful back section and the lightweight titanium with the 4-inch section here that goes to the downpipe, and just made it the simplest install. So I think we're almost ready to start her.
We are.
We gotta,
battery is charged.
we gotta touch the tips too.
Both of them at the same time?
Now usually I'm not a fan of tips that kind of just bolt on to the exhaust, but in this case it's really nice because on my last diffuser, if you guys remember, I had issues with it burning the tip. We can get quite a bit of adjustability out to make sure that it doesn't burn or touch anywhere, which is sick.
Is this one on the right? It's straight? I can't really tell very well.
It's hard to tell with all the reflections. We might just need to put it on the ground. Now one last very important step. Before we start it, you gotta wipe it off with some alcohol, otherwise we'll get Adam LZ fingerprints all over our exhaust. Look at how cool this looks though. That is rad. Let's see if it starts. Fun fact, I've never changed the oil in this car, ever. Buy it from me. It's pretty loud on cold start. That's cold start. Yeah, what these cars have is like a crazy timing pull, ignition retard, just to warm it up. It has a very different note though.
It doesn't sound that bad.
The titanium, you can actually hear it. It sounds a bit like tinnier, but like not in a bad way yet. I don't know, I haven't revved it yet. We're gonna let it warm up. Gotta bleed the coolant a little. Vibrations or anything. And then it just starts to get loud at higher RPM. I think sounds kind of cool.
It sounds aggressive. I like it.
Yeah, you like it when it makes all the pops and crackles because you're a racer. Unfortunately, it's pouring right now, and I gotta wait for Jordan to send an updated tune since now we're not using the external wastegate. We need the ECU to tell the car how much boost to make. But right now it's targeting some absurd amount of boost, and then the standalone that's also in the car is actually controlling the boost, well, was controlling the boost. So he needs to revert it back to the factory ECUs controlling boost, and then it should be happy, and he should have the settings that we need to get this car ripping, so we can go take it for some test hits tomorrow, and hopefully it's dry. One good thing about bringing this instant 5,000 horsepower. Every gear, no traction. One other thing I didn't really keep you guys too much in the loop with, In regards to the Skyline, the other day we actually put a little bit longer shock on it because I switched to 4K springs to try to get a little more grip, and the car was too low, so I had to get some longer shocks from BC. So now hopefully this thing will squat a lot more and get a lot more traction. And believe it or not, it's higher than it was before, even though it looks pretty slammed right now. Part of the problem is I'm trying to compensate for the fact that I have 245 tires on this car, so putting down 700 horsepower on a 245 isn't really possible, but the 4K springs do definitely help. The car just doesn't feel as unsettled anymore. Part of what I'm trying to combat is kind of like a Honda front wheel drive problem, where because I'm spinning so much in first and second, I'm getting a bog going into third, and I have to be able to beat Mustangs. So one solution is banging off rev limiter, another solution is boost by gear, which we're working on, third solution is more grip. So this is the best that I can do right now. That bog between the gears, I like feel guilty hitting the limiter for any longer than I already am. Man, this thing's good though. I should probably try no lift shifting second to third. I'm always, that's just like an easy one to miss shift, and I'm always scared. Maybe I'll try that. I don't know. We're going to AutoZone. She's doing her windows pink and neon.
Don't be a hater. Also, my bad, I hit your elbow when you're shifting, but you stayed in it.
Alright, I'm gonna try no lift second to third. I haven't tried this yet, so we'll see how it works. That's what I was worried about. Ready to try it again? We did a big fat birdie. But I'm right, it kind of renders third useless because it spins third instead of just like no lift, or instead of that bog actually acting as traction control.
Yeah.
It's tricky. I really just need to cut up these fenders and put some bigger tires on this car. We can do. Not bad. I don't know if you guys can hear that rain coming down on the roof. I tried really hard to get some exhaust clips before it rained. It's been a constant battle in Florida just because it rains out of nowhere. Every single day it's been doing this, and the Supra's pretty much useless in the rain. So I was going back and forth with Jordan. I got him to send me over a couple files to try. It's really hard for him to just kind of guess and check remotely with a new turbo setup, especially because we found out it's making a lot more boost than we expected. So I'm gonna lay over the exhaust clips and kind of talk interchangeably with some clips here. I actually filmed a clip in the car talking, but the stupid GoPro was in time-lapse mode, so that was useless. First startup, sounds cool, gets a little loud at cold start. You guys already heard that. One thing that I noticed, that exhaust, it actually has a bit more like higher pitch tone, and the guys at Boost Logic said it has to do with the weird quad pipe double resonance thing. The best way for me to explain it, I mean, you guys will hear in the clip, it takes the sound and it makes it a little bit higher pitch. So it kind of resembles that of like an S55, like a newer M3, but not in the bad ways, just a little bit of the rasp at like the higher RPM range that makes it sound a little bit higher pitch and a little bit exotic. gonna be hard in the video to hear. I tried to just cruise to where you could hear the drone. It's really hard to judge in the video, and especially because it wasn't on the highway. But the Supra, it drops so far down that you're cruising sometimes as low as like 1,000, 2,000 RPM. Very quiet inside the car to where you can still have a conversation, but when you get on it, it definitely screams up top. I'm gonna put in a clip here where I actually went first through 6 because it was so wet out, the car just kept spinning every single gear. I have like drag slicks basically in the back, so it's useless in the rain, and that's why I'm not going out to refilm this. I'll put a few more clips at the end of the video, but overall, also I want to remind you guys that's not full power. The car is probably making somewhere around 500. Once we get the car cooperating and we can turn boost up, it'll probably pick up an extra 200 wheels. So it just has a lot of throttle closures right now because the ECU freaks out when it goes over target boost. But anyway, I'm very happy with the sound. I did speak to the guys over at Boost Logic. If you guys are interested in any of their products, I do have a discount code for you there. I'll put a link for the Pure Turbo in the description as well. But yeah, the Boost Logic guys make a lot of nice exhaust and setups for like R35, Supras, other nice cars. You guys can just see over on their website, a lot of import stuff. But anyway, I'm super happy with it. It's really hard to judge the turbo without a perfect tune yet, but I will say it does feel almost identical to the Pure 700. No lag, especially with an automatic car. You don't have to really worry about lag because you're in boost the whole time. But it feels very similar to the Garrett setup as well. I know it's going to make the same power. You just don't get as much cool turbo noise because I still got stock intake and all that stuff. So hope you guys enjoy the video. I'm sorry for the anticlimactic ending. I did my best to try to cram in the footage before it rained, but I will see you guys soon. And we'll have some more Supra content probably like next week or something. So thank you, and I'll see you soon.